Hey there, it's Clay with modernlove.life, and in this video we're going to be talking about 4 ways to get your ex to love you again. There are a lot of times that people will go through a breakup or some sort of relationship challenge and their partner or ex just doesn't want to be in that relationship anymore. How can we go ahead and reverse this whole situation so that they actually do want to be in a relationship again, do develop feelings for you, and do fall in love with you? That's what we're going to be talking about right now. So the first thing that you want to do when it comes to all of this is to really give them some sort of context for why what wasn't working happened in the relationship, right? If you look back at your relationship, if you look back at your time together, you can probably identify something that wasn't working. It's very rare that I'll actually talk to someone who says, hey, I just don't even know why the breakup happened. It just came out of nowhere. We were having this wonderful fantasy relationship, and then one day they just woke up and said, hey, we need to not be together anymore. That's very rare, and usually it signifies that someone just wasn't really paying that much attention to the dynamic, to the relationship, to what was happening. Hint, that might be what wasn't working. But most of the time, it's just like, okay, I know what was happening. Maybe there were some issues. Maybe I knew there was a problem. Maybe I didn't know it was as bad as it was. But here we are. Apparently, it was a bigger issue than I thought it was. And now here we are, broken up. They don't want to be with me anymore. I want to make things right with them. But they're just not going to be open to it until they understand where you were coming from, why you did what you did, why you helped to create whatever dynamic wasn't working. Now, of course, they obviously do share some degree of responsibility. I'm not trying to make this all about you, but there probably was something that you did contribute to the dynamic that wasn't working. And so what we need to do is we need to tell them where things were from your point of view, how you felt during all of this, what sort of was causing you to bring yourself to that relationship or that dynamic in that sort of way. If we don't do this, then they're just going to be left to fill in the blanks on their own and tell themselves some sort of story about how you're some sort of jerk, how you never care, how you only care about, money or work, or how you just, only think of yourself and you don't think of them or whatever. And ultimately, they're just going to end up caricaturizing you, painting you out to be some sort of two-dimensional cartoon character, some sort of heartless person who never thinks about them or something like that. Obviously, the truth is more complex and nuanced than that, so we need to let them know what your side of the story is so that they don't have this inclination to fill in all of the blanks and make you into some sort of flat, two-dimensional cartoon character. The second thing that you want to do in all of this is to connect with them, right? We want to connect with them. We want to show them that, okay, this is why things weren't working. This is what happened. That can be helpful. Oftentimes, if you need to make any changes, you can show them that you're going to make some changes. You can demonstrate that there are changes being made. But just showing them that they're not walking back into the same relationship, although powerful, is not going to be enough to really get them to want to be in a relationship with you again. What we actually want to do is we want to connect with them on an emotional level. We can go ahead and talk about that. We did talk about that in yesterday's video. You can go ahead and find a link for that right up there. But we want to be able to connect with them because, sure, not getting back into the same relationship, getting back into some sort of relationship where the problems are resolved is great, but we actually want to be able to have a good time interacting with someone. We want to be able to feel close to someone. We want to be able to feel a connection with someone. And if we can do that, then we know that something is going to be fundamentally different in a positive sort of way. There's going to be not just, okay, it's different, but it's like, okay, it's different and it's good and it's better and it's something that you can actually look forward to. This is really important. We want to be able to connect with them on that emotional level. This is absolutely vitally important, and you want to make sure that you are spending the time doing what you need to do to build up that emotional foundation. Now, obviously, what we talked about in yesterday's video is a good starting point, so I would recommend that you check that out. The third thing that you want to do when it comes to getting your ex to fall in love with you again is to build trust. Okay, sure, maybe you have given them context and understanding for why the relationship didn't work. Maybe you've even apologized for something that you did wrong. Maybe you have shown them that they aren't walking back into the same relationship that they walked out of in the first place. Maybe the two of you are even able to connect in a positive way. But if this is all happening very quickly, your ex is not going to be able to trust that this is the real deal. And this is understandably so. After all, they don't know where you're coming from. They don't know if this is just you on a good day. They don't know if this is you on your best behavior. They don't know if this is you trying out some sort of gimmick or stunt that you picked up on the internet from some YouTube channel or some website or some book or something like that. And, you know, what they want to do is understandably have some degree of trust in who you are, what you're all about, and all of that stuff. You know, my daughter, she's almost 3 years old, and we were watching Frozen over the weekend, and I mean, you know, there's that whole thing between Anna and I think his name is Prince Hans or something like that from the Southern Isles, and they fall in love and they agree to get married like after knowing each other for one day. Obviously, there's not a lot of trust there, and Anna doesn't know this because apparently she's never interacted with anyone else in the entire world. But obviously, we want to know who this person is, so we need to have some degree of consistency, some track record to show us that this is not just them putting on an act. This is not just them being Hans of the Southern Isles, okay? Because obviously, at the end, if you've watched the movie, he does not turn out to be the loving, generous, amazing person that he initially appears to be. I'll leave it at that because apparently that might be a spoiler, although who in the world hasn't seen Frozen at this point? I don't know. If you have watched Frozen, if you know what I'm talking about, please give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm so that you can help boost this video in YouTube's results. Also, if you would like to get additional help with your relationship, please make sure that you sign up for our email newsletter over at modernlove.life/newsletter. You can find that right in the description box below this video. It's totally free. We send you this nice report when you sign up that tells you some common mistakes and misconceptions that people make when it comes to connecting with their ex, getting back together, and saving their relationships. These are things that I've noticed that people, for some reason, believe that really don't help them out. They actually hurt them in the long run. I hope you're not doing any of these things. If you want to make sure that you're not, get on the newsletter. Additionally, we'll send you some tips, advice, and strategies every now and then on our newsletter too to help you make progress in connecting with your ex. Once again, that's over at modernlove.life/newsletter, and there is that link in the description box below. Okay, so you have built some connection with your ex. You have demonstrated to them that they're not walking back into the same relationship that they walked out of. You've given them context for why what happened between the two of you so that they cannot make you into a two-dimensional caricature. What is next? We're building trust. We've talked about building trust. You need to do that consistently over time to demonstrate to them that you're not a Prince Hans of the Southern Isles. And then what we also need to do is we need to invite them into an amazing life. Okay, and what do I mean by this? Now, obviously, it would be great if you were doing some amazing things in the world, you know, starting that business, traveling the world, doing amazing things, settling down if that's what you want to do, building a community, starting up that charity project, or whatever it might be. But I'm not going to give you specific things because everyone's values are different. The most important thing is that you get clear on what your values are, what's important to you about life, and you start living into those values. The more you live into those values, the more valuable you're going to be. And the more you live into these values, the more alive you're going to be, the more passionate you're going to be, and the more interesting you're going to be. Now, obviously, there are a lot of people out there that are just sort of going through the motions in life. This is not good. This is not what I'd recommend. I don't recommend that you just go out there, go to work, come home, zone out, wake up the next day and do the whole thing again. I get it. Not everyone is trying to get out there and start a business. Not everyone wants to travel the world, but find something that's important to you, something that is truly meaningful to you, and align yourself and your life to live into those values. And the more that you do this, number one, the more passionate you're going to be about yourself and your life. This is going to be incredibly helpful because the more passionate you are about life, the more you love life, the more excited you're going to be when you're talking to your ex or really anyone else. And that excitement and that passion is going to rub off on them, and they're going to say, hey, seems like you're doing something really awesome in life. I want some of that in my life too. Secondly, it's also going to make you a more interesting person, because if you're just kind of going through the 9-to-5 motion sleepwalk thing, then that doesn't make you a particularly interesting person. Sorry to burst your bubble. But what we want to do is we want to actually live into whatever our values might be. And again, that's totally fine if you don't care about like your career or something like that and you're living for something else like some sort of community project, family, whatever. But, make sure that when you clock off of work, you're doing something meaningful to advance your values, live into your values and all of that. And that's going to make you incredibly interesting because that makes you stand out from everyone else out there. And that is going to allow you to invite your ex into a positive life, into a positive new direction for themselves, because that's really what relationships are. They're you saying like, hey, I like you. You seem attractive. Do you want to come over here and be a part of what I have to offer? What is it you have to offer? I don't know. Do you just have a job that you go to and that's it? Do you have something that you're all about? Do you have something that you're passionate about? Do you have something that you're doing with your life? Do you have something that's meaningful to you? If so, then start living into it. Give your ex a good reason to point to you and say, that's it. That's the person I want to be with. Look at them. They're going somewhere. They're doing things. They're making things happen in the world. That is going to be an incredibly powerful thing. So once again, just to sum up, we've got to give them context for what didn't work. We've got to show them that they're not walking back into the same relationship that they walked out of in the first place. We've got to connect with them on an emotional level, consistently do all this stuff so that we can build trust with them and also invite them into an amazing life. If we can do this, then you are stacking the deck in your favor for getting your ex to fall back in love with you. Once again, thank you so much. My name is Clay. Hit that thumbs up button and I'll talk to you next time.